The people of ancient Egypt ate a whole variety of foods that are healthy to the human body. These foods include bread, wheat, figs, honey, and etc. Since the country was in Africa and in the west of Asia, most of the food they ate originated from the two continents. However, despite all of this, many ancient Egyptians rarely ate meat. For example, Egyptians didn't eat a lot of meat, but their meat also came from animals that have been domesticated further north in West Asia or Central Asia, mostly beef and lamb. Yet despite all this, they did have some iron to have for their stomachs. Most of the food that the Egyptians have to eat were originated from crops. One of the biggest advantages for farming for the ancient Egyptians was that the soil was close to the Nile River, which could be useful when producing their own food and cloth. There are 3 periods of farming that have run every year. They are the inundation, which lasts from June to September, growing, which lasts from October to February, and harvesting, which lasts from March to May. They all have names in Egyptian. They are Akhmet for inundation, Peret for growing, and Shemu for harvest. The River Nile is the longest river in the world. The source of the river is in Burundi in Central Africa. It then flows through Sudan, Ethiopia, and Egypt and empties into the Mediterranean Sea. This shows how long the Nile River is, which would help us give an advantage to the Egyptian farmers. But with all of this, how did the Egyptians cook the food? Since technology never existed, the Egyptians relied on sharp stones and pots to help with their food. This would prove to be very useful to the Egyptians. The type of actions that were used with these tools are cutting, smoothing, preparing, sorting, and transporting. Water was poured into heavy earthen containers which had to be carried from the well into the house. Distances to wells were typically short as groundwater were easily accessible. At times, goat skins were also used for transporting water. This is one of the ideas of how stuff is transported.